No one rocked harder than the great Ozzy Osbourne. We loved working with him on our album Kermit Unpigged. He recorded Born to Be Wild with Miss Piggy, a perfect song for both of them. Every time we bumped into Ozzy over the years, he made us feel just as cool as he was. We loved having a friend like Ozzy, and we feel so lucky to have known him, worked with him, and experienced his music for so many decades. That's Kermit the Frog and his statement on the death of Ozzy Osbourne.
I don't know if I should cry or laugh. You just took like a really sad moment and made me want to laugh during it.
Good.
Because I've never heard you do a Kermit the Frog impersonation.
I've never done a Kermit the Frog impersonation until right now.
I think Patrick Mahomes would be impressed.
Yeah, okay. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. But it's sad. Ozzy Osbourne passed away this week. You're rocking the Black Sabbath shirt in honor.
Yup, I'm in mourning.
Yeah.
So, welcome back to the Training Partners Podcast. 7 episodes. You guys thought you could run this shit without me, huh?
We did pretty good.
You did great. I listened to it last night, actually.
Yeah, I thought Houston did a really good job. I know he's long-winded. He has a lot of good things to say, but I think we were able to keep him within an hour and a half. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, it was informative. You know, he does like his words, but they're the right words.
Yeah,
so that's okay. I thought there was some useful tidbits in there and kind of created some clarity. And you could go on about all of that stuff and recovery forever.
Yeah, I think even some of those topics we may even dive into deeper and get specific on specific topics that we touched on.
Yeah, I think it's a good one to kind of create a base and build on top of it. So, yeah. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Great job, Houston, for stepping in last week. We hope people keep stepping in. Yeah. So it's not just the same old stuff.
Yeah, we got a good list of potential guests, so we'll get those on here and there once we can get schedules aligned. And I just want to take a moment to thank everybody because literally every week I'm getting 3 people come up to me. This week particularly I had because the episode was a day late. Like, where's the episode? When's it coming out? Like, Tony texted me.
Yo, chill.
Yeah, I was like, come on, guys. Like, this is just a project we're doing for fun.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see that people are enjoying it and getting something out of it. I think the funniest comment I got this week, I think it was on Saturday, someone said, I thought it was going to be cringy, and it's not. And so I was like, cool, thank you.
They thought we would be cringy?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're not trying hard enough, I guess.
We should try harder. And I was told to have a good radio voice.
Okay.
But not a good face.
Face for TV?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, so we need to go to audio only?
Only, yeah.
Have I spent all this money on cameras that we don't need now?
Can you put a better filter on me? Or go back to that one episode where I'm blurred out. That one
we'll color correct. It'll be fine. Well, that's cool. I'm glad people are actually listening.
Yeah.
Dozens of you.
Dozens.
Do you think we're already more lifetime listeners than Coffee with Kane?
Dude, Kane, I think Kane's a little upset. Twice this week, he's asked me, if we can get it on our schedule, can we film together? I think he wants to get back to it.
I mean, he can be a guest on the Training Partners podcast.
Should be. Because him and I had fun. This was when I was less busy and he didn't have his full-time job. So it was literally just like the two of us hanging out talking.
Right.
So it was a ton of fun. We weren't taking it very serious. So I'd like to get back to it. We should definitely get him on here.
Okay. Well, Young Harv will put that on the schedule and we'll figure that out. But what are we doing today, Chris?
I think we're going to do a couple updates. You were in Colombia for Pan Ams.
Yep.
So we'll do a recap there. There's been some Hyrox updates. And then the title for today's episode, the main topic is Hyrox a good test of fitness?
This won't pop up, I don't think. This face?
Are you even on the camera right now?
That's really we just created a thumbnail. That's all that was.
That's
for.
a good thumbnail.
So
we'll discuss our views on if we believe Hyrox is a good test.
Okay. Controversial. Get those clicks.
That's what we need.
I was in Colombia. I was fortunate enough to be able to go support Team USA athletes and our coaches at the Pan American Championships in Cali, Colombia. It was at my first. Somehow, this was my first time in Colombia, even though there's a meet there every year. I was supposed to be in Colombia 2 years ago.
Oof. Sensitive.
Wasn't I?
Has the volcano erupted yet?
Nope.
Still has not erupted.
Still has not erupted.
Cool.
Yep. So glad we canceled that trip.
Yep.
For no reason. Yeah.
Really. Hindsight's 2020.
Sure. Yeah. But yeah, so my first time in Colombia, I've been all throughout South America now. kind of weird that I hadn't been there. It is really similar to the other places in South America. Who would have thought? It's so anytime you go into a South American country, like us as Americans, like with water, you got to be really careful. We have to make sure the athletes get water and that the food's okay, the transportation. So from a whole meet aspect, I thought it was organized pretty well. It is in an open air venue, and it's one of the nicer venues, but you're like, it's not like they're in the gym. Like here hot. In this city, it's like kind of in a nice breezy kind of part of town. So it's still humid and it still can get warm if you're in the direct sun, but it's not so bad. So we had really, really nice weather. It was a pretty nice competition venue. The training hall was actually quite hot, just didn't really have any airflow. And then the hotel was a hotel, and
you had a bed to sleep in.
Definitely. But the team kicked absolute ass.
Yeah, some world records went down.
Yeah, I didn't get there until like after the first lifter. My flight actually got canceled on the way there. Shout out to you, American Airlines, for having a plane sit there for like 3 hours. Like it's already there. It had already been there for a while, and then we sat on there for a little over an hour without air conditioning in Charlotte heat, which is like whatever, like, hey, that happens. That's really not a big deal. But they had all this time to fuel the aircraft, and they didn't fuel the aircraft, and then they deplaned us. So that was going to make me miss my connecting flight to Colombia. So they actually wanted me. It's like, oh, just get on the next flight and you'll just stay the night in Miami.
Yeah, they were trying to pass the buck to let Miami have to deal with you.
Yeah, I was like, or I live here and I can just go home and go to bed and you can fix this right now. So nice try, American Airlines, trying to have... Like, it doesn't make any sense, man.
No, it doesn't. Like, just let me go home. We'll go the next day.
It's a good lesson. Like, actually, so if you ever fly in the American South and you avoid like afternoon, times, basically any time after, honestly, probably 12 o'clock, like avoid as much as possible. And so I was nervous about that. Like thunderstorms happen all the time.
Yeah, spring to summertime, like you said, we even did that for Denver this year because we taught Colorado Springs, because specifically, like, we didn't want to miss our flights and get stranded.
And then, even connecting into Miami, like Florida, same thing, like not a thing that we want. But weather had nothing to do with it. As much as they tried to push it off on the weather, it was just that the aircraft was sitting there and they couldn't fuel it in 3 hours.
Nice. That's
so
efficient.
Yep. Nice try. Anyway, Gabe Chum kicked off the week for the team. He kicked ass. He took silver overall, if I remember right. And then after that, it was like almost like an unending parade of gold medals and world records. It was really impressive. Before
you go into like everyone, could you give like a quick breakdown, like what your role is with the team, and then like what exactly Pan Am's is? Because I think some people are not going to understand.
Sure. Yeah. If you're not familiar, so the Pan American Championships is one of the five African. Sorry, I forgot. 5 continental championships. So like there's an Asian, a European, an African, an Oceania, and then Pan America. So they just kind of combine North and South America. So it's like basically just like if it's the Olympics followed by the World Championships, then this is like the third highest ish level you can compete at, more or less. And that's where we send our athletes. So we're competing against, Canadians, Mexicans, Colombians, Ecuadorians, all North and South America. So very prestigious competition to go to. My role there is like a staff coach. So I work for USA Weightlifting and the team. And so I help the athletes and coaches with whatever it is they need. And most of my job, honestly, is preparatory, making sure like entries get put in correctly. Even actually someone else even does that. But doing research maybe on the competition, doing competition research on the athletes, and then being there in the moment and helping make the best sport performance decision. So what that means is literally what weights should we lift today.
So I help game plan to have the athlete do as best as possible.
Yeah, like it's not my business to coach athletes that I'm not personally working with every day. So we have a great group of personal coaches who travel with their athletes to do that. But I can be there and like get a really, really accurate count so they can time their warm-ups out perfectly, assess the competition and look around the room and make sure that we're picking the best weights for them to win. Or if they're not in position to win, just do their absolute best, like total their highest. A lot of our athletes were trying to get the highest level of funding we provide, like gold tier. So they need to hit specific numbers to do that. So helping game plan that out, and what happens. And then like secure as many medals as possible. Like that's a huge part of the job, actually. It's like make sure we get the best medals possible.
Like do whatever it takes to bring home medals.
Yeah. Medals look good. They help us secure more funding. So they're actually really important. But
And it sounds like Europe was pretty successful in that.
it was a great week for medals. I think our most amount of golds ever. So meets teams just got smaller because of weight class change. So the number of athletes you can send to an event has been reduced. So we probably will never break like our all-time, medal count because we literally have 4 less players,
Right.
no matter what. But I believe if I'm right, we got the most golds, like the highest percentage of golds we've ever gotten at a senior Pan Ams, which is really cool.
That's great.
And there were 6 people who were crowned Pan American champion, so they beat everybody else. And a lot of people getting silvers, including Gabe, kicked off with silvers. After that, Jordan Dela Cruz nabbed a bronze medal in the snatch. Unfortunately, she didn't podium medal, but this was her first meet since the Olympics, so it was cool to see her compete.
Yep.
Hampton Morris continues his tear of dominance. So, after that monster performance at the national championships, he came out and he now officially re-broke since the weight classes were changed, the world record clean and jerk, and took a shot at the total, which was awesome, and then won. And he actually he's probably really proud of the snatch day he had. He made all of his snatches and they were amazing.
Yep.
And he's just looking like there's no limit.
Right. So looking good with 3 years to go.
Yeah, it's cool to see. So I think that's his second senior world record. He has multiple junior world records, but after that, Miranda Olrey, she was a junior world champion last year, in Spain, and now this is her first senior medals. So she became senior Pan Am champion, which is also
first time
fantastic. There? Yeah, she got a really unfair decision, honestly, in the middle of her snatches and didn't let it phase her, and committed and got what needed to be put on the bar to win. So that was great. That was followed by Katie Estep, who took silvers, but also set a new American record clean and jerk in that process. So that was very, very impressive. So it's just record after record. And by the way, almost everyone broke, not almost everyone, but a lot of Pan American records. So that continental sphere that I'm talking about, these athletes broke records, not just American, but Pan American records.
It's kind of funny how many of them happened that we're just going over it so quickly, because it's just there's so many records were just broken by Americans.
It really is too many. Caden Cahoy ended up taking silver in his category, but he put a world record clean and jerk on the bar, which is something he really wanted to do going in to try to get the win. It was actually more than he needed to do to break the world record. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, but it was a huge lift, and he still had a very, very impressive day.
Yep.
So that was tremendous. Then the most ridiculous thing of all time happened.
Did she even compete, or did she just warm up?
It's hard to call what Olivia Reeves did hard or competitionless.
She didn't make it look hard,
but it is hard because not everybody can break world records.
I think no one else has done what she did.
The most casual performance I've ever seen in my entire life that was world record.
I think you went viral in the weightlifting community in the background of all of her lifts. You blue shirt guy, just being what
are we doing? Yeah, it was pretty wild. But that's just a testament to her and her coach. Obviously her ability, but how they approach competition. She's always at least trying, and pretty consistently what I've seen, having a good time, having fun, enjoying herself. And I think that's a lesson for all of us to have, to make sure you are enjoying what you're doing. You can be focused. You should be focused, but enjoying the process. And you see that in Olivia's lifts. You only get to record them one time, so she broke the snatch, the clean and jerk, and the total world record. But technically she set 7 world records in that process.
Right. So basically every lift was almost
every but her openers, essentially. So it's pretty wild. And then by the way, she won. So
by the way, yeah. If you didn't, if world records don't do it, and nothing else will.
Maddie Rogers also won her weight category on a really, really gutsy final clean and jerk attempt. She ended up missing her second attempt and then came back, made it, wanted the win and went for it. And it was awesome to see her be able to take that and get it handled.
And she took a record from Kane too, didn't she, in the process? Yeah. Sorry, Kane. We're just picking on him today.
Oh, we are picking on Kane. I didn't know this, and Kane was I wish I had known this, but USA Weightlifting put up, I think they've been doing more record keeping over the years now, and that's great to see. But yeah, it looks like Maddie Rogers is now the winningest medalist in Team USA history in Pan America. So that's really
that's great.
Awesome. So that she was able to cap that off take the win, put up a huge 249 total, which is just a kilo under her best.
It's great.
So that's awesome. And RIP Kane's record.
Yeah.
Apparently. So I told him there's only one thing you can do about that.
Just go back.
You just have to go back.
Never retire.
Yep. Colby Ferguson took gold basically on his openers.
Yeah, he looked like he's so strong.
He's incredibly strong. So that's his first Pan American title. I think, if I remember correctly, this was his 7th weightlifting meet of all time. And he's Pan American champion. So
that's amazing.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah.
You know? Aaron Williams ended up winning gold and like being Pan American champion. So it's like just making it rain, continuing. Did a 5 for 5 performance. We didn't take his final attempt.
Not needed.
Had it locked up. And what's amazing about that, we're not sure. Kane and I gave this a pretty good think, and we looked as far as we can. So the Pan Am Championships, anyway, started in 1984. And we don't think an American male has totaled more than what Aaron just did. So he might have...
Any Pan American championship?
In a Pan American championship.
Okay.
So we've had supers out total that at like a Worlds. Like
Right.
Shane Hammond at the Olympics did like the all-time world records and everything. But at a Pan Am's, we're pretty sure this is the heaviest total of all time. And so if that is true, extra congratulations to Aaron on doing that.
And he's not as new to the sport as Colby, but like he's still...
I think it's like 3 years in of weightlifting or something
And
like
both
that.
of them have football backgrounds.
Yeah. Aaron played, he was like offensive lineman. I can't remember what school in the Midwest. But yeah, our football boys are showing up. So that's really
Get them
cool.
in the weight room.
And then Mary Tyson Lappin closed it out. She did end up taking silver to an incredible Cuban lifter, who was, I think, a junior, 20 years old.
Wow.
Something like that. Yeah, she lifted amazing, but so did Mary. Mary lifted very, very well. Didn't PR her lifts, but like at a very high percentage of her all-time PRs. And, wasn't really planning, honestly, on like maybe having to go that far in clean and jerk as she continues to prepare for Worlds and like a long Olympic quad. But when she saw that like, oh, this girl's pushing me, she pushed right back.
That's great to see.
And it was awesome to see. So congratulations, Team USA, and thank you for letting me be a part of that whole process. It's really fun when you guys are just kicking ass all the time.
Right, yeah, it's like, oh, this is easy.
We were thinking about it. I think about it a lot. I remember, when I was lifting or even just before that, like we were thrilled when someone just got like in like a clean and jerk. I remember we were pumped. I don't remember who it was, but a clean and jerk bronze medal.
Like getting a medal.
Just an A medal, not being champion, not total medal, but it's like how far we've come to now the expectation is like, yeah, everyone medals.
Which is cool because I get this kind of, I feel like the momentum from the Olympics is carrying over because we had our first female gold medal in however many years.
Since the first, gold medal since 2000.
And then our first male medal in a long time as well.
Since 1984, yeah.
Yeah, so okay, those two things just happened last year, and now the momentum's continuing. So Team USA
standards have changed. If you want to be a member of Team USA weightlifting, you have to be somebody who's going to medal at the Pan American Championships and then be basically in an A session at the World Championships.
That's great.
That's more or less the standard now.
Yeah, that's good, as it should be. We want to be the best, right?
It's such a shift in a really short period of time, but there's some older weightlifting coaches. There was a time, so the United States, I think we just fell to 3rd all time in medal count at the Olympics in weightlifting. Specifically, I think China finally leaped us, but we were 2nd for a really, really long time. And so you'll have coaches say, oh, the golden age is already over. We did that in like the 60s, back when such and such won all these medals and everything. And like there are amazing lifters from the time, but I think we'll ultimately look back like, no, this is at least for women's weightlifting, this is absolutely the golden age. They're on their way up. And they're doing, but our men actually won more gold medals at this Pan Am's than our women did, which is something that I don't think I've seen in my entire time weightlifting. So that's pretty great.
So maybe we're just getting into the new golden age.
Yeah, I think this will be the golden age, and hopefully it never stops.
Yes, so. Perfect timing for LA.
Yep. But that's my recap. We're not trying to turn this into a weightlifting episode.
Yep.
If anybody was interested, you can watch these lifts on YouTube or find them on Hook Grip's.
Yeah, good Hook Grip. That's probably the
all
best
things
quality.
gym, Hook Grip, all that kind of stuff. Do we want to talk Hyrox?
I do. I love Hyrox. You want to do it?
No,
You ready to talk about it or do it?
Oh, to definitely talk about it.
We'll just
I don't want to do it.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No,
yeah.
no.
Okay, cool.
What's going on in Hyrox?
A couple updates. So the CEO, Christian Tozecki, he put a statement on. He said this.
Do you think that's it?
How do you say it?
Tozecki? There's a second
Totsky.
T in there. Totsky.
Totsky sounds right.
That also might be wrong, but don't
I like that I did research, but not research on how to pronounce his name. I apologize, Christian. He said this multiple times.
He's a listener.
He's definitely he's #1 subscriber.
Okay.
But he said it a few times. But he came out in the past week or two and has made it very clear that the 2032 Olympics is the goal. It's gonna be in Brisbane, so that is where they're aiming to be, and he's basically said it's just a lobbying process at this point. Like they're going to try to lobby to get put into the Olympics in 2032. And what it takes to get into the Olympics is, I feel like, a lot, because there's like a bunch of standards you have to meet when it comes down to like fair play type of stuff. You have to be USADA approved. Is that correct?
Yeah, you have to have some sort of anti-doping. So like USADA's US only, right?
Right.
So
fair.
yeah, you have to have an anti-doping process.
Yep. So it's basically like the initial sports program, which includes all sports for a specific edition of the Olympic Games, is determined by the IOC session from among the sports governed by the international federations recognized by the IOC.
Yeah.
So that's just like a lot, but there's like...
So you first have to just be recognized as the
Correct.
international body by the IOC. You're not in. You just,
Yeah.
We at IWF, International Weightlifting, is recognized on that and like was on the verge of losing even that recognition. Like that can happen. That'd be terrible. So I guess accepting that Hyrox is the governing body for Hyrox.
Right. So like...
Yeah.
And I think like 2032, how many years? That's 2 Olympics away, right?
Yeah, there's LA and then Brisbane.
So they have 7 years to...
Yeah, and I can't remember when they finally determined the sport program. I feel like it's about roughly an Olympics away. Maybe you got more.
Yes, I believe it's 4 years away from the research I've done, what I've looked up. And I do think like it's possible. Some things they have to work on is definitely the doping, because like that's not happening at all right now.
Yeah, what's up with drug testing? Let's go into it. How much drug testing is there in Hyrox?
I will say this. I've seen a lot more weightlifters be drug tested than I've seen Hyroxers been drug tested.
Okay. And so we just did Nationals Week. There were roughly 1,500 athletes.
Yep.
How many people did New York?
New York, there was about, was it 9,000?
Oh, okay.
It's not 9,000 people.
Okay. So like 7 times the amount.
Correct.
One
now,
event.
but also that's like nationals versus just any regular meet.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and again, you could argue a regular meet has 60 people or so versus 9,000.
Definitely.
But so like there's they need to at least be drug testing like the top 10, even if it's like random of the top 10 drawing.
Is that not happening?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So like,
I mean, drug testing is expensive.
it is.
You know, it's one of the issues. It's one of the reasons that there's been a split in powerlifting, like USAPL from what now I guess is Powerlifting America. It's one of the reasons that Masters Weightlifting, you know, there is a separate Masters Weightlifting entity different from USA Weightlifting. There's other reasons related to, but drug testing's at the front of it, and like how costly it is. Actually, you know, I was reading it for Columbia because it's relevant. I was down there. Like, it's when people think about it, like I'm not just paying people for weightlifting specifically. I don't know if this happens to Hyrox. Maybe don't love the amount that they have to pay for a registration.
Yes.
Or something like that. It's like, okay, well, you are paying for that, but you're also paying, not just prepaying for the price of you being drug tested potentially, but the price of flying that DCO in, putting them up in a hotel, the actual kit that they're drug testing you with, transporting that kit back, because in international countries, sometimes they're literally like taking it back themselves. They could be, you know, or it could be like certified shipping. So shipping it there, then getting it to the lab.
Is it like handcuffed to them? I just imagine.
I don't know if it's if it's like that, but and anyway, so that's all that goes into it. So like these fees pay for that, you know. And a Hyrox, how much is a average?
So the average, it's going up, but they say the average, and this is like counting people that get to do it for free, so that brings the average down. It's like $135.
$135.
But the real price is $175.
Okay, so like that's our regular registration in weightlifting, and then $145 is the like early bird. Usually, so it's about comparable, right?
It's comparable.
And you have 9,000 people. We have 1,500, and one of us drug tests, and the other one.
Yes. So this is what I see. Like they have put out a statement about it, about drug testing. They do random drug testing.
Okay.
All athletes can be tested, even during a suspension.
Did they say what body does it?
I'm trying to see if I see what body does it. Let me keep going through the list. Retired athletes must give 8 months notice before competing again.
That's similar to
WADA. So
Okay, so
use
they-
WADA standards.
They're saying, well, WADA standards, but who's
Samples are analyzed in WADA accredited labs, A and B samples, biological data, so that using blood, urine, even DNA may be used for profiling. Any refusal basically is a positive test. So it's not. I don't see who exactly is managing the drug testing.
Well, that's a great start for at least Olympics, because so like the testing does. There's a difference between like going to Quest Diagnostics and then something being a WADA accredited lab.
right.
A WADA accredited lab is just getting that accreditation means it's significantly more expensive to run and to build and all that kind of stuff, which means it's significantly more expensive to
Yep.
test stuff there, regardless of who's doing it. And so, yeah, that's what I'd like to know. You could test at a WADA accredited lab, but your chain of custody isn't up to the standards of, say, a USADA.
Correct.
Or what we use called the International Testing Agency, a WADA, so on and so forth.
So what they're doing is they're randomly selecting 5 athletes who attend the Elite 15. This is
Okay,
what this
I mean
is.
that's great because that's where the money is.
Yeah.
So that'd be what I would hope for.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
for casuals, like same as in weightlifting or any other, we don't really test people
Right.
doing it for fun. But yeah, if there's money going around, exchanging hands, you need to be testing those.
I completely agree. If you're going to be able to say you won the thing or like you podiumed, you should be at least drug tested. Or
That's a
possible.
third of the field. That's pretty good.
That is good.
Yeah, I would say that's at least as good or possibly better than other sports.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's a good start.
They're starting. That's good. So they got that starting at least, and then something neat that I read when looking this up was the Olympics' goal is to promote peace by introducing sports to youth.
It was one of them. Yeah.
There's one of them. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was interesting that is something that the Olympics is proud of and that they that they promote on their website.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do anything. I mean,
Do
they
you
don't
think they actually do that?
They don't let Russia use their flag.
I mean, that's a good thing, probably.
Yeah, I think it's a really good thing.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, international sporting agencies can be very, very corrupt. The IOC
Because there's a lot of money involved.
is one.
So-
There's a lot of money involved in trading hands. Like, not to derail the talk about Hyrox, but Doha has just put their name in for 2036, and I know I think we'll talk about some potential cities a little later on. But there's no reason to host the Summer Olympics in Doha, Qatar.
Yeah. Was that where they had the soccer tournament a couple years ago?
Yeah, they had the World Cup there.
And wasn't there same stuff, same issues with like who was building the facilities?
There's a huge, yeah. There was like basically literal slave labor.
Correct.
In building the facility. But so they've already gone through the process, and like they're part of their bid is like, hey, we already have the facilities. We can do this, and like that is true. But you have to not do the Summer Olympics in the summer, and that's a big issue
Because of the weather?
because it'll be 120 degrees Fahrenheit or hotter, in the summer.
Yeah.
So you have to move it to the winter, which makes it not the Summer Olympics. Which honestly, like, isn't that big a deal? It is a big deal when it competes with other priorities.
This may be a really dumb question. When it's in the opposite hemisphere, do they do it in that hemisphere?
Yeah, they've
summer?
adjusted it. Yeah, like in Australia, they've adjusted it. So this is why it comes up, is that one of the big stakeholders in the Olympics being a success
NBC.
is NBC.
Yeah.
And what happens in the fall or the winter in the United States?
I'm gonna say sports, NFL playoffs,
American football.
Yeah,
And NBC doesn't want basically to compete for viewership with NFL football.
so they won't. They wouldn't compete.
Yeah, they wouldn't. I mean, how interesting is college football? But
Yeah, don't get me going. But I feel like they could do it. Say you just don't do events on Sundays, Monday through Saturday, you have your events.
in any case, it's something they wouldn't prefer. But yeah, they've moved it at different times, and like that's been one of the big hangups. And so like NBC has a big influence and say in how this goes.
Yep.
But then Doha is also, like, the country of Qatar is very willing to grease wheels
Right.
with money lubricants.
Yeah.
To get their way. Like, that's the reason they hosted the World Cup, right? So
So it's nice they say these things, but it's not necessarily what they're doing.
not always.
Yeah.
No, it's a nice idea. Like, I still believe there's like Olympism, the spirit of Olympism. It has these tenets of like what we should aspire to.
Yeah.
And I think they're great things. That I think that it does promote peace and cooperation and understanding. Like when I go and I travel just for weightlifting, not other sports, we see how not different people are.
Right.
Honestly, like that we all generally want the same things. And like, even when we're from very, very different cultures and different customs, we still care about our families. We still care passionately about weightlifting. We're still generally really nice people, you know? So that's what's great about sport, is that it is universal, and I'm glad that the Olympics exist. And maybe Hyrox.
Maybe Hyrox
will be a part of that. So
that would be really
what are
cool.
some other steps? We've talked about doping.
Needs to be fair.
What does that mean?
So to me, which is weird because I think of Olympic sports as having a lot of judging sports involved, where it be like gymnastics, like you're being judged, where it's not black and white. It's a very gray area. You have these professional judges who know a lot more about the sport than we do. But I couldn't tell you if what Simone Biles did, it looked insanely impressive, was better than what another gymnast did, because I don't know the ins and outs of that sport.
Right. They have like they've codified movements.
Yes.
With a certain difficulty, and there's a way to do it.
Yes.
And everything, and those judges know. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to, like, I get that with figure skating, and I'm like,
Same.
that looked as crazy. Like, there are things that look crazier, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's like what about this is objectively prettier than the other thing? You know, so yeah, that seems difficult.
So I don't know how to make it. So to me, in my mind, it is removing movements or changing the movements where the judge's opinion doesn't matter as much.
Okay.
It's like, we'll get into that later, but like the ones where like, oh, did you stand up all the way? Did you squat to parallel?
Yeah, there's a lot of moments for judging.
Correct.
Huh.
And I think, to be fair, limit that. The less you have the judges involved, the better.
Well, the only thing you do is just make it running then.
Correct. Well, no. You can still have the station. Some of the stations may need to adjust or change.
Well, what are some movements you could make that wouldn't require judging, I guess?
Oh, okay. Well,
so like, let's say it's a deadlift, because like a deadlift subjective, you can either pick up a deadlift or not.
Yeah.
But even then, did you pick it up all the way?
Did you pick it all the way? Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I put a list of the movements that like you definitely can judge and the ones you cannot. So the sled pushes and pulls.
Okay.
That's very straightforward. You pushed it or pulled it that distance. The row and the ski, you either went that distance or you did not.
Sure.
So there's half of it, and then the farmer's carry. You either carried the weight or you did in that distance. So
and this crosses the line or not. Yeah.
Correct. So 5 of the 8 are like golden. The other 3 are lunges, which did your knee touch the ground? That's easy, but did you stand all the way back up? So you could almost like take that part out of it. I know it looks silly when you just do like a lunge and stay low.
Yeah.
But like now the judge doesn't matter. Did you hit your knee or did you not hit your knee? That's literally all that matters.
Yeah.
Wall balls. There's a target. The top half is good. Did the ball hit the target? Yes or no?
Yeah, that part's fine.
The bottom half, the squat.
Oof.
Is there a low squat target? But
they're already doing that, so it's okay.
I hate the way they do that.
Yeah, Hyroxers are already not squatting all the way down.
First off, okay, I've waited for the moment to say this, and I feel like this is the moment. The CrossFitters that hate on Hyrox movement standards, I just want y'all to know there is a individual, Andrew Hillier, who literally makes a living, who has made a decade-long living off of bashing CrossFit's inability to hit standards.
Okay.
So, like, don't throw rocks in a glass house.
Oh, like just CrossFitters dunking on Hyrox? Like,
yeah, we're talking about like, oh, the Hyroxers don't do the movements properly. They're not hitting standards. And I agree that happens, but it also happens in CrossFit. There's literally a man who's made a living off of pointing that out.
It does.
That's
Seems to happen a lot more. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just what's popular right now.
Well, no, it's CrossFit. If one of the things they did back when the games were the games,
Dude, Carson.
We can go on this tangent about like CrossFit Games. I miss you. Like I do. I really
do. You know
do.
when they start this year?
Isn't it like next week?
Okay, you were right. I thought you may not know.
Yeah. It was like, so like we need to go back. We need to. You went from being on ESPN, Reebok, big stars, big money, all this kind of stuff, to like Lu Xiaojun shoes, Satva mattresses, the United States Border Patrol. Like those are the sponsors, and we're in wherever in New York,
Albany.
We're not next to where the LA Galaxy play in Carson Bay. Like Carson kind of sucks, but anyway, those were the golden days. Like I want that back.
That tennis stadium,
so bad. I want it back.
Those events were so sick. Yeah.
But one of the things they did well, especially during that time, and now we're still living it, is like promote a standard of judging. Like there's a whole judges course. You got to do it. There's video review for people that aren't in an affiliate, and like there's a team of people watching it and looking at the reps.
Yep.
For me, at least in games events, I didn't really see any like bad reps or conspicuous judging because it's like 1-to-1, one athlete, one judge on top of you. And like that's impractical to do in the 9,000. I'm not asking them to do that.
In the Elite 15, it is that way.
That's great.
It's 1-to-1. And you can tell like when it's being on TV or televised that their judges are all up on them. There was this one girl that kind of went famous for like
But I'll
being
say
hardcore.
I think this trickled down in CrossFit, like this from the top strict judging mindset trickled down and pervaded even into just random people doing the open more than it has into casual people doing Hyrox.
That is true. It's almost like I've seen this and I've had to like, hey, don't do that. Hey, I'm going to do it wrong because it's quicker until the judge tells me not to.
Tight.
Yeah, and that's not a good mindset to have.
Yeah, I mean,
just hit the standard.
I mean, there were strategies in that, like in CrossFit, to like do lifts shittier, but they were the standard technically, you know, and they were doing it. So I guess you do whatever you got to do to get it done faster.
So I guess like a good answer could be is just make sure the judging is insanely strict.
Message that and signal it from the top down that like, hey, we're gonna require a higher standard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know this. Is there a Hyrox like judges course?
There is. I believe you have. If you when you volunteer, they put you through a course to go when you go to do it at the venues.
Okay.
And then you can like work your way up to be a head judge, and then I do not know the process to be an Elite 15 judge. I'm sure they're like handpicked from the ones they've seen that have done the best.
That's good. And then like I guess it's not as demanding because there isn't the equivalent of a Hyrox open. Like there isn't like what?
Talk about demanding.
What?
They do 8-hour shifts.
Oh, like how long they work? Yeah, that's
at one station.
And they don't pay them?
I think they get food vouchers.
No.
Head judges get $200
for the day,
and they get a free entry to a race.
9,000 people.
Dude, 8 hours.
You can pay your
and
judges.
You're judging the same movement.
You can pay your judges.
Yeah,
USA weightlifting, we pay our judges like next to nothing.
Yeah,
but we don't have 9,000 people doing it.
No.
So you can pay your judges.
That's the step is make sure they're being paid.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Because I believe your sport isn't professional until you have professionals judging it and working it. So,
and the only other thing I saw with like along the lines of needing to be fair, and I don't think this one I care about this one is standardization of the course, because it makes me think of like a marathon when they do it at the Olympics. The course isn't the same at every venue.
Yeah, I think that's kind of bullshit if that's a requirement, to be honest.
Yeah, so I'm like I think that was just like people chirping about that one.
The swim is never the same.
Correct.
The triathlon's never the same. The cycling course is never the same. Like road cycling, not a velodrome, you know, and so on and so forth. It's a different thing. Like the athletes, even in track, there are different track surfaces with different climates, you know, all throughout the year, and that's pretty like there's some you guys I would say standardize better than CrossFit, because it's the same thing every time.
Yeah.
And it's the same amount of reps. And generally, like, the running's usually, like, indoors or whatever.
Yeah.
So, no, I think that they're already on top of that.
Right, I think that was perfect, not an issue.
It can be the same pretty much anywhere in the world.
So just stepping up the judging is all it's really going to take to be fair.
And then making sure the doping.
And doping.
It's already there, but, like, is handled by the right agencies,
Correct.
I guess. Like, I would imagine... I bet this doesn't happen. Like, there's no out of competition testing.
Yeah, they say it does say that you can be randomly drug tested,
but I bet they don't.
Yeah,
like,
I don't.
So the only way you do that, so that the International Testing Agency actually has a database of weightlifters and the number of out of competition tests they have.
Yeah.
So, Hyrox, you want to get into the Olympic Games, like. Just add a website. Oh, here's how many times we tested people out of competition. You don't have to tell them when or what the result is. I mean,
just
if you want,
the number of tests that are being done.
Yep.
So, I think our friend was tested on Pan Am's Day, and they weren't even competing.
Who?
I think Kane got tested.
Oh, really?
I think he got tested like day of.
Pan Am stuff. They were testing people in the training hall before they competed.
Before?
Yeah. Then they would go and test them again after they competed, and then. Someone, I believe, also from the team was also just tested like again today or something like that, you know, at home. So
that's the type of testing you need.
That's you want to talk about testing?
Aggressive, yeah,
that's a lot. So
and then the last thing for getting into the Olympics is that they have listed as being accessible. So I think this goes back to like wanting to be involved with youth. So I think they want to be where anyone in the world can have access to do this sport, and I think that's something they struggle with being. That it's limited places to do it. It takes so much equipment, and to do an event is $170.
I mean, I could see. I mean, do the best you can with that. You're probably not getting into the games otherwise. But like, you know, how much is a horse?
Dude, I think horses are so expensive.
They're incredibly expensive.
Like millions of dollars.
Yep, and they're incredibly expensive to ship and transport. There's a whole separate transportation service for flying a horse to the other side of the world to be involved in equestrian events.
That's wild.
And that's in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And is in no way accessible to 99% of people.
So it's things they preach, but not necessarily following up.
Yeah, it's just not always. So like, I think what they'll have to do is like present a package where, hey, we're meeting these marks like a certain percent, right? Like,
Right.
Like how yeah. Honestly, Hyrox is fairly accessible.
I say the fact that they're doing locations all across the world makes it accessible.
The least accessible things are the $1,000 cardio machines.
Yeah.
That you need, like the ski erg and the rower. Those are the least accessible things.
Yeah.
Everything else, pretty
easy.
Pretty accessible.
Yeah.
You know.
And you could like make a ski erg, just like get some bands on the rig, like when ski ergs first came out. Everyone did that in the CrossFit gyms.
Or if you're an OG, just go skiing. Now
Just
we're talking
actually
accessibility.
ski.
You know.
Why ski when you can snowboard though? Okay, and then the last thing I kind of have for like what steps they're doing is in the past they've only had 10 total events in Oceania, but they have 4 in the next 8 months.
Okay.
So I think they're trying, because that's where the Olympics are going to be. I think they're trying to get known there. And I could even say, wonder if that's part of why they partnered up with F45.
Because it's an Australian brand.
That's where it started at. But I don't know. So they got Perth, Melbourne, Auckland, and Brisbane, of course, which is where the Olympics are going to be.
Well, that's a good strategy.
So I think that's why they're doing that. And they just did Sydney like in the past couple of months.
Yeah, you've got to try to make this is a German sport, but like you've got to try to make it as Australian as possible in a very short amount of time, which a lot of Australians compete in it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, Tia and James have been tearing it up lately.
But that might be their only hope, because we get to have baseball, softball back, flag football in LA. Those are all American sports. They won't continue probably.
When's the next? Have they announced an Olympics that's going to be in Germany anytime soon?
Well, Berlin, if they already have a bid, I believe is bidding. I think is actively bidding for the following Olympics.
So what if that's like kind of their backup plan?
Yeah, maybe they're kind of going through the process, prepping it for this quad, and then trying to nail it in there. I mean, that's contingent upon Germany actually being awarded it.
That's fair.
There's many other cities that are bidding for it, but for me, that would be my favorite because it's a little messed up. If you want to get into history, it's 100 years since the previous time when a very, very different Germany hosted the Olympics. But I think that's a way of like facing history head on, which the Germans have never been afraid to do. Unlike in our country, where it's apparently uncomfortable to talk about
it's ridiculous.
History of racism and slavery and bigotry and so on, and misogyny and so on and so forth. In Germany, they're like, yep, this happened, and we're not going to let it happen again.
Yeah, that was just cool. They've learned from the history instead of repeating it.
And so doing it on the 100th anniversary of that games is a very German way, I feel, of handling it, and would be great. I think that'd be poetic, and then Hyrox obviously would fit really well into that.
Yeah. So there's the plans our assumed plans for Hyrox making the Olympics. Now to the true question of the day, is Hyrox a good test of fitness? So to me, I'll go first because then I know you're going to lean into the strength side. What is fitness? Aerobic capacity plus strength plus endurance. I'm forming that in a question, but that is
plus strength plus endurance.
Yeah, because you got to have the work capacity.
Okay.
You need to be strong, and you need to be able to do those two things over a longer period of time.
Okay.
So I win. Strength is just a piece of fitness.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, hell yeah, I win.
Yeah. No, but is there any strength in Hyrox?
Okay then. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 strength-ish movements.
Strength-ish movements?
Strength-ish movements.
No, the sled stuff is hard. It's actually at a weight that is definitely not elite strength athletes, but that's a separate category of person.
Yep.
We'll just talk about kind of median population, non-specialist strength athletes. I would say the sled weights are objectively difficult.
For pro and what they would do in the Olympics, men it's 200 kilos, so 440 pounds. And women, it's 150 kilos to 330 pounds that they're pushing.
Those are difficult weights.
Those are very difficult.
They very, very much are. But other than that, what do we think is an actual strength piece?
I like that I'm just like trying to make sure that it is. Farmer's carry.
How heavy are those?
So they have 32 kilos in each hand for the
No,
men.
that's not a strength piece. That's an endurance piece.
Okay. So lunges.
No, that's a body weight thing. It's a
But they got
that's a
30
metabolic capacity.
30 kilos on their back.
No,
Wall balls.
absolutely not.
All right, so we have 2 strength movements: sled
Yeah,
push,
and
sled pull.
that's fine. Like it doesn't have to all be
I mean, that's still 25% of the stations,
of stations,
not of
the sport.
So 1/8 of the sport
is strength. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd say 1/8. 1/8. So that's probably
that's not bad.
it's not bad for a true test. It's maybe a little low.
What percentage of a triathlon, which is really usually considered like a great test of fitness,
0
is strength? Exactly 0.
0.
Zero.
Like the top tier athletes and smart athletes are using strength training to make them better.
Of course,
but they're not strong.
they're not being required to demonstrate strength ability.
Yeah.
In the middle of the race, they're being required to show their endurance, their gamesmanship, their there's a lot of tactics that go into a triathlon.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Those athletes are obviously very fit and great, but their sport does not require them to express strength really meaningfully.
Correct. Would you say I'm strong? Both of y'all with the faces.
What do you mean?
Okay, am I, for my age, for my size, am I strong?
Yeah. I mean, as dickish as I can be, because like my perspective of what strength is like
For sure.
fucking
Okay,
skewed.
okay, let me narrow it down. In Olympic weightlifting, am I strong?
No.
Okay. In general population,
Yes.
correct. So Jordy shared something with me yesterday. Someone took the time to take all the average numbers of the Elite 15.
Okay.
And they just did back squat and deadlift, I am significantly stronger than all the Elite 15 athletes.
Yeah,
in
I
Hyrox.
believe that entirely. So then that, I mean, shows you it's only an eighth important,
Correct.
right? And I think that's pretty accurate, you know, in that sport. No, if you look at population-wide data, okay, like probably everybody that goes to Charlotte Strength is in the 90th percentile
For sure.
or above, honestly, or has trained here for a meaningful time. You know, we have got people that are more in the beginning parts of their journey, but like after they've been here a year, they're probably up there, honestly. And then any one of our weightlifting team is in the 98th percentile, you know, more or less. Our national team is in the 99th plus percentile and so on and so forth. So you're up there, like, honestly, against the average, because most people just don't. They don't undertake it. They don't try it or push themselves. Or they don't get the opportunity.
Yeah, and they also like don't need to go down this rabbit hole, but have like a skewed view of what strength is.
Sure.
So like they may be relatively strong, but not true strength. Okay, so they're lacking strength when it comes to a test of fitness, but do you think it's just an endurance race?
No, because they have that piece. Like, I think 200 kilos is so what's the pull weight? Is it the same weight?
No, it reduces. It goes to 150 for men.
That's still pretty challenging.
100.
200 kilos on a pull would be very
strong.
very, very impressive. But no, I think that like your person off the street can't do that. Your runner off the street can't do that. I would be surprised if your average triathlete who does strength train, you know, of course, if they prepared, they probably could. But if they just did like regular strength training and I said, okay, you know, pull this sled this weight, push this sled this weight, they might be able to do it. They would have a very hard time with it, I would imagine.
There's different turfs, different sleds have different frictions. So I understand that. And I think our turf here has a higher friction than what they use in my experience. And my coach has been having me push 200 kilos lately. And
does it feel hard?
Dude, the 150 kilo, I can like go the 12 and a half meters unbroken. You have to do that 4 times. I can do that fine.
Yeah.
This I'm having to take breaks.
Yeah, 200 kilos is a good amount. Like I've pushed small trucks, you know, is part of training, like for fun. No, like
it's cooler.
No, like a Tacoma or something. So I don't want to be like, oh, I'm pushing F-150s around or whatever. What?
It wasn't a Ford?
No, it was a Toyota. I've pushed a Ranger too.
A Ford fucking Ranger?
I've pushed a Ford fucking Ranger.
Yes.
A Tacoma, things like that. You know, just what was available, and you know that is not fun. And those have wheels.
Yeah.
They are heavier, but they have wheels. And so once you get it going, the wheels help out.
Correct.
You know, there isn't like the friction you're dealing with on a sled or anything like that. But no, that's objectively
Yeah.
difficult.
So there's like an eighth of this work. I guess a 16th is more accurate of this race is strength.
Yeah, but I'd say it's a good test of fitness.
Okay.
Because it's inclusive of a couple different qualities. Even if it prioritizes endurance, it does have.
It is definitely the most important piece.
Endurance, absolutely.
Is by far the number one. I want to compare it to CrossFit. Do you have the 100 words of fitness?
I do have Greg Glassman's 100 words, world-class fitness in 100 words, which is kind of more of like a lifestyle type thing. But here we go. 100 words. Eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. Keep intake to levels that will support exercise, but not body fat. So first paragraph has nothing to do with the performance of movements.
Right.
But it's. I think he's trying to promote like, hey, what you put in your body and how you fuel it will determine your performance a lot, right? And he's definitely taken that like zone paleo approach.
Yep. Zone and paleo is so popular
to this.
Yeah.
The next piece is practice and train major lifts, deadlift, clean, squat, presses, clean and jerk, and snatch. Similarly, master the basics of gymnastics, pull-ups, dips, rope climb, push-ups, sit-ups, presses to handstand, pirouettes, flips, splits, and holds. And then bike, run, swim, row, etc., hard and fast. So that's more of the movements. He's saying, hey, you should lift, you should master basic gymnastics, and you should do all of the monostructural like cardio modalities, which I kind of agree with all that.
Yeah.
Being able to do that, I think is great. He's bringing it home with 5 or 6 days per week. Mix these elements in as many combinations and patterns as creativity will allow. Routine is the enemy. Keep workouts short and intense. And the final sentence is regularly learn and play new sports. So I agree with almost all of that.
Yeah. I think it's like, I don't know if that's a great definition of fitness, but like to your point, it's a great way to just live your life.
It's a great way to live a fit life, I guess.
Fit life. Yeah.
Yeah. But is it, we're not getting into what is a test of fitness, I guess.
Correct.
That's just like one way about it. So I guess their test is use the CrossFit methodology where you're ready for anything and everything, across these known domains to express it.
Yeah, I think that was kind of one thing they've always done at the CrossFit Games is they wouldn't announce the workouts until some of them even like, I think there's one that was hilarious. The athletes didn't even know that the event had started. Like Dave Castro had them out there on the floor and started talking, and it was like, it's going to be this night, 3, 2, 1, go. And they're like, everyone just kind of stands. Some of them starts running around. Kind of silly. But those days are kind of behind because I think all the events have already been released.
What?
I may be wrong in that, but like I saw.
Young Harv, look this up.
Google it.
See if the CrossFit workouts are already up. I will lose my shit.
I don't know if all of them, but a good amount of them have been posted.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, it should be like 2 or 3 days out at most.
What? Get it together. Some of them.
Some.
How many? Fine, we'll keep going until we get an answer. But
comparing that to Hyrox, where Hyrox is just this one test, where CrossFit Games, it's like 15 events over 3 days.
Oof. Yeah.
So but then like, is that just who, oh God, I almost said survives. I don't want to say, who is able to keep going through all these events of a long weekend of like whose body is like still able to perform after 3 days of grueling events? Is it more a test of that, or is it an actual test of fitness?
I mean, it's a much more balanced test. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like you have to be skilled at a lot of other things. There basically is no gymnastic piece in
Not
Hyrox.
basically. There is not.
Yeah. There is no gymnastic piece. There is no weightlifting piece. There is a strength piece, as we've established, but there's no, thing with a barbell and we're a weightlifting gym, so a highly complex thing with a barbell,
And that's where I think it does make Hyrox a good test, because especially on a lower level, which maybe that ruins my point, but at a lower level, you can go to a local CrossFit competition and you are unable to do chest to bar pull-ups, just throwing it out there, or muscle ups. You are eliminated from the competition just because you don't have that one skill.
Yeah, so I think what it does is maybe CrossFit is a more balanced assessment of fitness.
Yeah.
Because it's still demanding in so many different areas, but Hyrox is an excellent test of fitness, general fitness, and like see, hey, can you do these things or not?
Correct.
So it is more like the open than the games are. Like the games are the best of the best, you know.
And that's
so maybe that's the difference, is that like we have pros racing to get the fastest time, but they're doing like an everybody test.
Right.
Whereas to get to the games and to survive that, like, okay, that is also the elite of the elite, but you need to be skilled in all these different ways, and we wouldn't ask, you know, regular fitness enthusiasts to be able to do that.
They're all announced. And we're a week out to the day.
God.
So they have a week to prepare for over a week to prepare for every event.
Just who's CEO now?
You know it's for sale.
Yeah, somebody.
Whoever the new CEO is.
Somebody, do something. This is bad.
This is real bad.
This is like the opposite. That's why everything's worse. Every year, everything's worse.
Yeah.
You killed a guy. Like you literally killed a person because you can't plan shit. Now you're putting workouts on the internet, defeating the purpose of like being ready for anything and everything.
Yeah.
You've destroyed your brand that no one legitimate wants to partner with you.
Yeah.
You know, like this is ridiculous. Somebody save this company. I don't know who. Whatever. Get him out. I'm sure he's a smart guy, but like, let's get it on to somebody.
Rich just needs to be CEO.
Sure. Like that's a good like figurehead.
Yeah. I feel like he could, because he knows what the glory days were like.
People want to do it.
Yeah.
People still love CrossFit. Like they're going off and doing other things, but it's mostly their operations and logistics. So that's the problem with a Rich CEO is like, does Rich have like a logistics and operations background to be able to get shit together? Does he have a marketing background to be able to regain trust? Like probably not.
Yeah.
You know, and they've kind of returned to some of their old, like Castro's involved again.
Yep.
And things like, and I'm not even disagreeing with it. Like, you know, that was part of what was good about it, but we've kind of poisoned the well in their reputation there. So anyway, sorry, we're getting off on CrossFit. I don't mean to.
So do you think it is important to test skill when you're testing fitness? Because I almost think the open is a better test of fitness than the actual games.
So you're basically taking the work capacity approach.
Yeah, I might be being very biased towards that. But if you have weights involved, if you have low skill movements, you're still able to touch on those things. But where those aren't the determining factor, the work capacity is the determining factor.
I mean, that's probably pure. Like if you like who can get the most work done in an amount of time.
And this also drives me crazy in group classes when people or individuals do the higher skilled movement, but they do a third of the total work because they chose to do the higher skill movement and they think they won the workout when it's just a random Wednesday. And it's like, yeah, but the other person did 6 rounds and you did 2 rounds just because you chose to do bar muscle ups.
Yeah.
Like, so I think work capacity is more important than strength and skill.
It's definitely an important piece. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go the opposite side, and here's what I think about it. So I'm going to guess I'm in alignment with Glassman on this one, in that I'm thinking of fitness as applicable to my life. So I want to be fit and healthy, not so I can score high on a beep test, not so I can win a triathlon, so I can do just about anything life throws at me. And I think that's probably the spirit of CrossFit a little bit. And I ascribe to that philosophy.
Yeah.
So I want now, granted, like, am I currently fit to handle anything life throws at me? No, definitely not. Like
your new toy is going to help you out though.
What new toy?
That one over there in the corner.
Well, but like if I improve my cardiovascular fitness, if I improve my metabolic conditioning, things like that, I'll definitely be more prepared. I'm very prepared for like any strength sort of thing.
Yep.
A lot of things that require like body awareness and control, all that kind of stuff. Good for me. So I like that. I like that definition.
Okay.
I like being able to apply the fitness more than I'd rather, do Survivor, I guess. That requires some like knowledge of like survival, where like how to start a fire, like where to find water, all those sort of things. So I'm not necessarily asking that, but being able to apply it out into the world rather than like, okay, I went to the gym and like I did more wall balls than you in 10 minutes. That doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I see that argument. I just don't like, maybe it's because I don't have those skills and I don't like being eliminated because I don't have those skills.
Yeah, it sucked when like, we did Orlando did a local CrossFit event.
Yep.
And struggled because he didn't have the handstand walk, right?
Correct.
The handstand walk's a big one that comes up in the open, the regionals, whatever, all the time. These hyper specific skills, so maybe we're not going necessarily as far as that. Like you don't Like, do you need triple unders? Like, probably not. You know,
I guess that's I guess if you know what the skills are, if you know like okay, it's going to be handstand walk, it's going to be muscle ups, which I still think is hilarious because like that's to us that's like a very high skill gymnastics movement.
But it's how you.
It's
start.
literally how they start.
Yeah.
It doesn't even count as their routine.
Yeah.
But having those, I guess that is fair to have low skills, and I guess because I don't have those low skills.
I like skillful things, so I think my definition of fitness will require you to be skilled at several different things.
Okay.
And in addition, though, to having work capacity, like being able to, like you said the other day, like you should be able to run a mile nonstop, no problem, which probably means you're running like an 8 to 9 minute mile, which shouldn't be like some obscene thing.
To change it, then to have like your perfect fitness test in your mind, would you have a one race scenario like Hyrox, but then have more strength stations and then like some skill stations, or would you still have it split up like CrossFit does where it's multiple events?
That's a good question. I think I would lean towards the Hyrox model because you are assessing the work capacity while challenge people to do the skill things.
Yeah.
So I would have like an objectively more difficult strength piece.
I'm thinking like I know like now my perfect one is like okay, you run and then you got to do Isabel, and then you got to run and then you got to do 30 muscle ups.
Sure.
Just like something
That'd
like
be really cool.
That would be really cool. That would be fun to watch.
Just don't, do all that and then have people swim at the end.
Never end on a swim.
There's a reason no one does
There's
that.
a reason.
But yeah, I think I like that because you're assessing the fitness, the cardiovascular fitness, their metabolic capacity while you're throwing the skills at them. And like a lot of CrossFit has those pieces instead of like the standalone, one skill piece, short rest, recovery time, then into it. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. But that might be my main complaint. You know what my main complaint probably about Hyrox is?
What's that?
It is not the lack of strength stuff.
It's how boring it is to watch.
That's my second complaint.
Okay, what's your first?
Is the lack of skill stuff.
So you'd rather have the higher skill stuff in there?
What's missing from me from the stations is skilled movement.
Okay.
The highest skill that you guys have to have is probably running.
I was going to say, is there any, and even that's not skill, that's just having good technique within the movement.
That's a skill to me, like having good enough technique and then training your motor, your engine to manage it over the period, like while your heart's getting racing from all of the stations and everything. But like there isn't a high skill movement.
No.
I guess after that it would be being on the rower. There's a skill to how you pull the rope and push the sled.
What's funny, I read an article the other day that was talking about how, because it's, again, 1/16 of the event, that a lot of their rowing technique is, I think it was on the rowing Reddit page. They're like, why do the Hyroxers row like shit?
Yeah, I've seen,
It's like, because they're literally there for 3.5 minutes out of a 55-minute race.
Right.
So they almost just use that as a recovery and just get through it, and they're not trying to have like dialed in technique.
Yeah.
And they still get through 1,000 meters.
But that's why it's so accessible and why so many people enjoy it, can do it, and I don't want that to change. But maybe the pro race changes. I know I'm talking crazy here because it's cool that everything's standardized. But I would love it if the pro race had a more like just a slightly more difficult strength piece. Even though I believe the sled stuff is difficult, and then like one actual skill piece.
And you could do like,
can be cool
to make it fun and keep it similar. It's like, okay, instead of the sandbag walking lunges, maybe it's like you got to do 100 pistols. Maybe instead of burpee broad jumps, you got to like burpee bar muscle ups.
Yeah, something like that.
Just a way to like, hey, it's still very similar. Because that's actually something to think about, is that from open to pro, the weights go up. But those other movements, nothing really changes.
Sure.
So like, how would they add a skill to it instead of just keeping those the exact same?
Advance it. And I'd even argue change the skill once a season. Just so people have to continue to evolve and like develop new. Because once you get like a bar muscle up down, that's in your pocket.
Yeah.
Like it's done. And so I'm not asking them. It's no longer a skill, honestly. It's no longer a test of skill.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, if 1 year we're doing, instead of burpee broad jump, we're doing burpee bar muscle up, the next year we're doing snatches instead of wall balls. Okay, just as an example. Well, we've challenged people to learn a skill. It's known throughout the whole season, and that's what you're building towards, maybe at the World Championships.
Yep.
But you have had to learn that skill at some
I
point.
kind of like that. It's like, okay, none of the races have that skill until the World Championship. Like you said, you have a year to practice. If you qualify, now you're going to have to show that you learned that skill over the year.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
To me, that would be fun.
But actually, what I do want to see, a race of 9,000 people, them handstand walk. Dude,
Just 9,000 people
just
falling
all over each other. Oh, my God, that'd be great. Okay, well, cool. I think that kind of gives our thoughts on if it is a good test of fitness, which seems like we think it's a good, but could be better.
No, I think it's a across the population great test of fitness.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that maybe it isn't the definer. I don't know that I'm finding the fittest man on the planet. Whereas I would give CrossFit a little bit more of
well, they got a
legitimacy.
copyright on that. So
I mean, well, they need to get their shit together first.
Yeah. Please do.
Do
I want to watch.
Yeah.
I miss just sitting there watching the games all weekend.
It was watchable.
Yeah.
It was CrossFit used to be watchable.
Yeah.
And I would argue like getting to that point, qualifying, and then surviving that weekend across all those skills, you have a pretty good claim.
You're a pretty good
at
claim.
that. Whereas I don't know that I could say the same about the fittest, the fastest Hyroxer, honestly.
I would agree with that.
So
I am stronger than the fastest Hyroxer.
Yep. There you go.
So they're not the fittest. Cool. Anything else you want to touch on?
No.
That's all I had.
It. We'll give
Cool.
it a wrap.
Well, thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hyrox is a great test of fitness.
Great test of fitness.